Beautiful Allison. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here.
Oh, I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you, Wendy. I have to tell you, I'm in love with your podcasts, and I can't believe I'm now participating in one of them. I find them so uplifting, but also more than that, I'm learning so much by listening to all the other inspiring stories, and it makes me self-reflect about my life and my accomplishments, and it's okay to acknowledge my accomplishments. And I just think it's a fantastic venue, and I applaud you for
Oh
doing it.
my goodness.
Well,
You're so kind. Thank
uh,
you so much.
It's true.
I
It's
appreciate that.
yeah.
And I receive that. It's so fascinating. I say this all the time, but it's true. This is the most fun and fabulous thing of all the fun and fabulous things I do. And I almost said I can't believe it. I can believe it because I know that's how these things happen, but I love that it's easy and impactful. It's not, sometimes the easy choice is just, kind of feels like a treat to me, but the reach is pretty shallow because it's just, something I'm doing for myself that's easy. But this is, I guess, maybe a better word than easy is aligned. It just feels like what I should be doing. And even on a day, if I have 6 interviews in a row, I'm just delighted. So I know I'm not going to be the same woman at the end of the day that I was at the beginning. And it's just so fun. The biggest takeaway is getting to meet fabulous people like you, and that I didn't have to go to New York and stand on a street corner and say, I'm looking for a new friend. But yet here you are.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled to be here. It's such a wonderful podcast with the self-reflection that it causes me to do. It's all the guests have been so interesting. And it's very therapeutic. It really is. I listen to many of them. So I'm very
Thank
excited.
you. I
Yes.
appreciate that. And I think it's so fun because even though I only ask one question that's planned, and it's the same question for everybody. There's never the same answer because we are all having this beautiful, unique experience. And although the answer is attached to the person, we're finding so much of our story in each other's that it's a beautiful gift.
That's absolutely true, 100%. We are all linked in so many ways and so connected. And your question really is not an easy one to answer. At least it wasn't for me. I had to really think about it.
Well, I'm so excited to know how you're saying yes to yourself in this season.
Well, I think my biggest yes to myself is that I trust in myself to make the right choices in
What
life
a
affirming
gift.
ways. Um, I used to doubt all my choices unless I could talk with my brother or my mom.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I needed permission to make
Mhm.
certain choices. But right now, I realize my strengths and my resiliency that I've been through. I've been through a lot. Um, I trust myself. And that's
Mm.
also with the help of my beloved dog, which is a big part of my story. Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's such a beautiful answer, and what a gorgeous reflection because it's something that you can continue to come back to because you make multiple decisions all day long, every single day, and to trust yourself and also grant yourself the permission to not only do or choose what feels in alignment for you, but to also course correct if you're 3 days down the road and decide, "Oh, maybe that wasn't the best choice. I'm gonna fine tune that a little bit."
Oh, no, definitely. Of course, it's a work in progress. And,
Yeah.
I learn all the time and things change all the time. But it's a different feeling of almost more than security. It's just that I have been through a lot and I've learned a lot of life lessons. And
Yeah.
learning, I shouldn't say I've learned, I am learning. It's a work in progress always to
Right.
trust myself because of who I am. So it's an interesting journey that I do talk about a lot. It's one of the themes of my second book, my second memoir. Um, so that is which I love. It's a memoir. It's not exactly a traditional memoir, if I may talk about.
Say more.
Yeah. Well, my first memoir, this is my second I'm talking about, but my first one was more of a traditional memoir. It's called A Place Called Grace. And it's a very
Beautiful.
bittersweet and honest memoir of finding my resiliency after so much loss
Mm.
with the help of a quirky octogenarian named Grace, aptly. Um, I was the narrator in the on my first memoir, and I was a struggling actress in New York. And after a divorce, I was divorced. I felt very unmoored and needed an adventure. So where did I go? I made a bold decision to move alone to Rome, Italy. I
So fun.
well, where I didn't know anyone, didn't really speak the language well, or have any work lined up. But I made a life there and I dealt with all the bureaucracies, of which there were plenty. And I even got a work permit by myself, which was not easy to do until an accident forced my return back home. While I got
Mm.
back home, I went through a series of terrible personal losses, including a health scare for
Mm.
myself. And I was absolutely floundering until Grace, this octogenarian, came into my life. So it wasn't about finding a man. It was about this woman who helped me. And yes, it was really cathartic, my first memoir. I really had to write it. But
Sure.
I did not feel that the story was told at the end. And it's not because it didn't end in a because it ended in a bittersweet way. And it was not a fairy tale ending. Um, unlike other stories that were wonderful, like Eat, Pray, Love, where they move alone to a foreign country, but seem to end really well for them and meet
Right.
a guy. And, you know, so mine was not about that. So, a number of people who read A Place Called Grace, they wanted to know what happened to me because, again, it didn't end in this fairy tale manner.
Sure.
I knew I had more of a story to tell,
Yeah.
and was contemplating how could I tell more of what I wanted to say. And I realized that telling it from my own point of view was not the way to go. Um, So I decided my beloved dog, Dea, who actually is right here on my lap,
Sweet
um,
Dea.
she knows me as well as I know myself, and
Mm.
she should be the narrator, which also intertwines her own story with mine. So it needed to be very different from my first memoir. And while my second one, Walking Allison is what it's called, is also very bare and open, it is just filled with doggy humor and doggy wisdom about the silliness she views in the ways of humans.
Oh my
Um, but
gosh.
it is my story that she tells from her point of view. So through that, I really became a different person. Just writing this book, I realized, yeah, I really do trust in myself a lot more.
Wow.
And so it was an interesting journey. It's a journey.
Right. I love everything about this, Allison. And I love, I have so many questions. I would love to know how you came to decide to write it from Daya's perspective, but also what a beautiful gift that must have been to, I mean, we always have so much more. This is a very generalized blanket statement. I realize that. I'll say I seem to have so much more grace and perspective in a positive way when I'm once removed. So whether that is something's not directly happening to me or I've taken a moment to presence myself and take a deep breath and respond rather than react. And I'm wondering if that's how it was writing from your dog who don't we all want to be the people that our dogs believe that we are? And just to have that voice of utter love be the filter that your story is coming into the world through. Just what a beautiful gift for yourself. And then, of course, the reader.
Oh, you hit it 100% on the nose.
Oh,
Writing
yay.
writing from Daya's point of view was very challenging. I
Bet.
worked with a fantastic editor and I got deeper and deeper and deeper. What I used to think Dea, my dog is Dea. Dea means goddess in Italian, by the way. And
Perfect.
um but I used to think she was thinking is not really what she's thinking. I had to dig deep as best I can and not anthropomorphize, even though I'm sure I was, into what is she thinking about? The silliness that she must see all around her. What is she smelling? What does she hear? So it was a fantastic journey. Very difficult in the beginning, but once I got into it, I'm so attached to my dog and we're so connected that I began to really believe that I thought the way that she was thinking. I mean, my story goes through so many layers. Um, it goes through my first dog had died. I get
Mm.
this dog, Dea, and it was very difficult as a puppy in the beginning, all from her point of view. Like, what am I doing wrong, Mama? I just want to be with you. Why can't I chew this rug? Well, I'm
Right.
like furious and bringing her to the vet. So it starts with our story, but then I actually meet someone again, fall in love with a real person, a man. It worked for a while, and then it didn't. Again, from her point of view, what is she thinking? And it's very, very interesting, very comical. Going through online dating again from Daya's point of view is very comical. Also from
So
mine,
fun.
it's very comical. But then we also went through a lot of serious things. I'm a cancer survivor. I've had
Mm, yay.
breast cancer 3 times.
Oh, my word.
So with Daya, I went through it twice. With my
Mm,
first dog, I had my first. So my dogs have always been with me when I went through something as serious as that. And I wouldn't have it any other way. There was
mm,
no one I would have rather have been with going
yeah.
through something like that. But even writing, and I write about cancer in this, but it's not sad because again, it's from Daya's point of view. And her point of view about life and death is very natural,
Mhm.
about being sick. When dogs are sick, they don't complain. They
Right.
deal with it. It
They
is
rest.
right, they rest. Um, so I found it very interesting to write about such serious subjects from what I believed my dog's point of view would be. But mostly, you hit it on the nose, being able to look at myself with humor, all my foibles and idiosyncrasies through Daya's eyes made the book, it's very funny. It really
Yeah.
is a very humorous, joyful book. It's
Yes.
deep, it's very deep. There's sadness in there,
Sure.
but looking at like, oh, I'm an exercise nut, but I always seem to hurt myself or whatever it might be. I'm like, what's going on with you? I mean, maybe you need a leash. Maybe you need booties like I need, Mama. Why are you having all these accidents? Just calm down.
Mm,
So it was easy to make fun of myself. And I think that's what makes it very enjoyable to the reader because no one wants to read about problems all the time. That's
right.
so boring. But from her point of view, it was really easy to say, oh, yeah, look how silly I am. What crazy, I'm a jerk, sometimes. So it very, very interesting to write about life-affirming choices from a dog's point of view as well, or what I believed her point of view would be.
Right. Oh, I can't wait to read it. It's such a beautiful idea. How did you even think to consider this?
It took a lot of thought. As I said, I had more of a story to tell.
Right?
But I knew just me being the narrator would be a bore. In my first book, I had to be the narrator. I moved to a foreign country. There's Italian in there. A lot of characters, but it was my story. This is also my story, but it just would not have worked. So I searched and searched and then thought, there's no one better that knows me except my dog. I mean, dogs know you very well, and I know her
Right.
very well. And it's also unique. I did a lot of research to see what other memoirs have been narrated by a dog or a cat or any animal. I couldn't find anything.
Oh,
Nothing.
wow.
There are wonderful, fantastic nonfiction books. I mean, excuse me, fiction books that have been narrated by a dog or a cat
Sure.
that are bestsellers in Hollywood movies, and they were
Right.
fantastic. And but nothing that was nonfiction based on a true story. So I thought, wow, this was a real niche category. I was
Yeah.
wondered, though, would anyone be interested in my continuing story told by my dog? Well, yeah, people were. And it's
Fantastic.
yeah, it's interesting that a lot of people that I know who've written to me or whatever have dogs. They say they're now wondering what their dog's thinking of them all the time or what their dog
Mm.
is dreaming, because we talk about all this in the book. So it's really interesting. Um,
Oh, it's so beautiful. Now, have you always been a storyteller? Have you always enjoyed writing? Because 2 books, that's huge. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah,
Of course.
I come to terms with that now. It is a big deal. And my first book was so bittersweet because in that I moved again to a foreign country and after a divorce, and I was unmoored in New York and just needed this huge adventure, which I had. But then when I came back, I went through, as I made mention of, I lost my beloved brother, who
Mm,
was my world, and then my mom, and
mhm.
then my first dog, Alba. And it was just so much loss and so much sadness.
Yeah.
And then I got sick, not with cancer, with something else. And I reevaluated my life, and acting was no longer an interest of mine. So,
Mm.
uh, I was an actress at the time, or trying to be. And that's one of the reasons I moved there, to Italy. I probably didn't say that, but yes, I was an actress at the time. And I went back to school and decided to get a master's in social work.
Wow.
I proudly have, and that was wonderful journey. And while I'm not working in the field right now, the education it taught me was incredible. I look at the world and other people, and
Right.
I loved it. I did work for a short time at a hospital in the city, and that was
Mhm.
wonderful. But I didn't stay there for forever. That wasn't what I wanted to do.
Sure. How did that educational pursuit help you navigate those deep losses?
I'm still working on those deep losses, but by helping other people who go through
Hmm.
similar losses, it's always therapeutic to
Yeah.
understand their point of view, which then is similar to yours. And life is a journey, life is difficult, and you get through it. You get through it with the help of really just one person. You really just need one person to listen to you, I find. I don't think you need a flock of listeners, just one who gets you
Yeah.
and who makes you feel less isolated or alone.
Hmm.
Um, which is also actually a theme in my second book, The Loneliness Epidemic and Feelings of Isolation. So,
Hmm. Can you
when,
say more about that?
yeah, I struggled with that, especially, not only, but especially during COVID. you know.
Sure.
My dog is not a quote COVID puppy. A lot of people, as you probably know, got dogs or puppies or
Yeah.
cats doing that. My dog was already 5, maybe 6, and she was my only source of normalcy during
Wow.
COVID. I live in Manhattan, and everything was closed. I mean, all over the world. But in Manhattan, all I heard were sirens and ambulances, and every day listening to the governor talking about how dangerous this was. There was no place to go. And I'm
Right.
an exercise nut. So the gyms were closed. So my dog and I would venture out on 4-mile walks every day, and we would really just look at nature and just be together and say, thank God I have this
Right.
wonderful soul. Or I don't know what I would have done.
Right.
The telephone, and then there was my dog, and that
Mm.
was it. So yes, feelings of isolation and loneliness abound. It was a terrible time. And even the Surgeon General at the time, I remember him talking about it. But getting through that, I realized was another lesson where to get over feelings of isolation and loneliness, I feel you have to learn to love yourself a little bit more,
Yes.
uh, which is an interesting concept, which was hard for me to do. Uh,
Hmm.
but that's also a work in progress. But I
Right.
do, and I
Yeah.
love myself. And I also try to listen to other people and be less judgmental of other people. And I
Hmm.
find that that really helps with
Yeah.
loneliness and isolation. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, it does. And that's such an interesting perspective because it just makes sense. It's judgment is creating separation.
Yes, totally.
So it
Right,
makes perfect sense that being non-judgmental would foster connection,
right,
even
right.
if the perception of connection, right?
Yes,
So you're not any didn't mean that now your dining table is full, but
no,
you weren't creating barriers and building walls that didn't need to be there. Is it's just not in service.
right, exactly. Which goes with my social work training. I mean,
Sure.
you find ways to help others as well. During COVID, that was not easy to do, but if it was, for example, my dog was such a help, she would give strangers that we'd pass by
Yeah.
on the street knee hugs. And
Mm,
during COVID, and they would say, "Oh my God, that was the nicest thing that happened to them all
right.
day, all week,
Physical
all."
touch.
Exactly, exactly. So she was really a help. Um, and so all of that was an education for me on dealing with loneliness and isolation. But frankly, when I'm with my dog, I'm not lonely.
Right.
And I'd many times rather be with her than anyone else.
Sure.
I mean, dog people will understand that. So
Yes.
it's
I also love the comment you made about your relationship with yourself. And that is so key to feeling isolated or feeling seen. It's an inside job. I mean, I am a single mom,
yes,
and when Amelia is with her dad for a weekend or a week, people will ask me, they're like, "How are you doing? Like, are you okay when she's gone? Do you miss her?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm great. She's with someone. She's safe. He adores her. So hooray." And, I get a lot more things done because I'm not commuting to school or stopping to make food. So it's in bite-sized portions, but it's also because I enjoy my own company.
exactly.
Right? And that's a gift.
It's a huge gift. And so many people, if they're out of a relationship suddenly, or if it's been a while even, they just can't be alone. They have to
Mhm.
constantly be busy. I'm not that way anymore. Maybe it was when I
Right,
was young, I was more that way. But with Dea, I'm so happy just connecting with her. And
right.
it's not like we don't do things. I mean, I have
Sure.
plans, of course. and go out on a date sometimes. But it's more about just, I feel so connected to this dog. And what's so interesting is that the human animal bond is so intrinsic to
Yeah.
so many people's lives. And I'll speak for myself and to mine.
Yeah.
My dog, trained me to look at life differently,
Mm,
even illness differently. Um, she truly became my best teacher on how to navigate life with more resiliency. Um, and because I'm so focused on her, it was also a godsend to take the focus off of myself, which I felt, so during cancer, I had a scary night. Well, I had had the surgery and I had had a problem, and they called me and said, well, we'd like you to come to get checked tonight. I said,
mm.
no, can I come in the morning? Well, we'd rather you come tonight. And it was nighttime. I had to take care of my dog, and maybe this was a silly thing to do, but it's who I was. So I stayed home with her until the morning, and everything was okay. But in my book, Dea writes about that, and she said, "Well, I'm always happy to be with my mama, but maybe she should have, taken care of herself and gone to the hospital, but I'm so glad she's okay." So, so it was interesting perspective. I was between and betwixt. So it was very interesting. I guess, I felt this pressure to do what the nurse practitioner said, but my dog came first. And that's what it was. That's what it is. She always comes first. So, you have a child, she's my furry child.
Right.
They come first. It's it's what it is.
Yeah, I think it's so fascinating because they do teach us so much about ourselves and about our interactions and our limitations and our boundaries. And you also have this opportunity, even in making the decision and then writing about the decision from Daya's point of view. It's like you still allowed yourself to question your decision.
Right,
Yeah, big deal.
exactly.
You're gonna get 100 opportunities to make another decision tomorrow, so it's
Right.
okay. But sometimes we can just get caught up in feeling like we're supposed to be perfect, or, as comparing ourselves to other people, or they have so much going on, so I really have no excuse to not get it right every single time. It's just
It's
please.
exhausting.
It's
Yes,
exhausting, and that's why I love these conversations. It's why I love community of like-minded people that are committed to becoming the highest and best version of themselves. It's because
right,
when we share the thoughts in our head that often make a lot more sense on the inside than they do when they come out of our mouths, then we
right.
can say, "Oh, okay, yeah, never mind." Like,
That's right.
I don't believe that, and it doesn't hold the same water that it did when it was just on repeat in my
Right,
mind.
right, exactly. That's
Community is so important, and I love that you're still in deep community, obviously, with friends as well, but because you have this practice with Dea of dialoguing, I mean, she's almost a therapist who's just holding space for you to
yeah,
talk through
yeah.
whatever you're making a decision about.
Well, it's true, but yes, absolutely. But also, I mean, I've met so many new connections because of my work
Yeah.
too. When you have an
Yes.
animal, it's amazing. You just people on the street you become friendly with their dog.
Right?
They always come over to mine, or even neighbors that I used to know and be friendly with, but now we're much better friends because of
Yeah.
Dea. She brings these connections into my life effortlessly. And
Yes.
so it changes your life only for the better.
Right.
And interesting, in the book, I talk about there's a chapter about meditation that after
Oof.
the relationship. I'd fallen in love with a man and it didn't work out. Daya was okay at the end of it.
Okay.
And I started meditating and trying to do that and reading from this book and all from her perspective. And she's sitting on my lap, listening to gongs and chimes, and she's saying to me, "This is ridiculous, Mama. All you need to do is follow me. I meditate naturally. Just live
Mm.
in the moment. Let's go out, smell the flowers. Let's walk in the grass. Let's just romp around, and we'll meditate much better that way. You don't need gongs and chimes." And so it's also very interesting. And I don't listen to gongs and chimes. I can meditate without them now. So
Right.
dogs do meditate naturally. They really do. They can just let go and
Yes.
lie down, right? You've had a dog, right?
I have. I've had, oh gosh, 6 dogs, 7 dogs. I've had 7 dogs
In your whole life.
in my whole life.
You grew up with dogs.
No,
Oh.
no. I had 3 Siberian Huskies.
Oh,
I had 3 Siberian Huskies with husband number one. And then I had 3 Golden Retrievers with husband number two. How about
wow.
that? And now I have
Oh,
no husbands and no dogs.
oh my goodness. Wow. Oh,
Yeah, that's so interesting. The dog in between the Siberian Huskies and the Golden Retriever was we wanted a rare breed. We wanted a special dog. We did not want to be cookie cutter people with their Golden Retrievers. And
right.
so my second husband's a super researcher. And so he researched this breed called a Polish lowland sheepdog. So they're like an English sheepdog, but a little bit smaller. And there was a breeder in Minnesota. So we drove from
Oh,
California to Minnesota
oh my
in
goodness.
2 days and got this dog and brought it back. We stopped at Mount Rushmore and the
Wow.
Badlands and the Corn Palace and all of these places. And when we brought him to the vet for his well puppy visit, he bit the vet. And the
Um,
vet was very concerned,
it was a
like
puppy, a puppy.
10 weeks old. And he said, "This is not good." And then he bit the vet tech. And they
Goodness.
said, "We have to report this," which means if your dog bites another person, and he will. And these weren't like puppy playing bites.
Oh,
This was,
wow.
yeah. Then there'll be a seancer and you'll have to put the dog down. Like, oh my gosh. And this was
Oh,
at a point where there had been a dog mauling in San Francisco. So people were on high alert about bad,
oh,
scary dogs. I know. So
how sad.
it was so
Oh,
sad. So we
awful.
contacted the vet said, "You need to send this dog back to the breeder and they need to put him down," which sounded just very extreme, very
Oh,
extreme.
God.
So the breeder had a pet therapist come to the house and do a, an analysis, a personality analysis on the dog. And the one action exercise that she did, she had the dog sit and she brought her hand high above her head and then dropped it down quickly and stopped just above his head. And then he reacted and she said, "Oh." I was like, "Oh, say more. What does O mean?" And she said, "Well, typically a puppy would blink its eyes and then, maybe be nervous and wag its tail and come to you.
He's blind.
And this dog took a step forward and said, like, okay, like now I know what you're doing. I'm ready for the next one. Go ahead. I'm ready." So she was very concerned. So she said, "You could keep this dog, but you're going to
Oh,
have to learn some protocol. It's very
wow.
cute. People are going to want to pet it, but you're going to have to figure out if the dog's okay. So you're going to ask the dog to sit. And then you're going to ask the dog, can this person pet you?" And then we were like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
So we sent the dog back and they
Oh,
rehomed him and we got golden retrievers
oh my
because
God.
we just were like, oh my gosh, forget it. We're going with the sure thing.
I was thinking, was he blind? I mean, maybe
No,
was he just
no.
sensed something and no,
He
nothing
was dominant aggressive is what she.
as a puppy.
Yes, yes, and that is it's a characteristic of this breed that was not in the brochure, but, they
Wow.
rehomed it to a person who already had that breed and lived on a farm, and so
Huh.
the dogs weren't gonna be being pet by strangers and children. So,
Right.
it was fine, but it's such a long way to a ham sandwich, but that's why we went from not wanting to be like everybody else to being like everybody else.
I see it. Well, the Goldens are so sweet, right? They're just
Yeah.
the sweetest dogs, but they can have health issues. Like all the
Sadly, my dogs never lived long enough for that. They would
oh,
just die at 7.
oh my,
I
really?
know, so sad. I know, I have sad dog stories.
Oh no. That's horrible.
Yes, but I loved them and they loved me every day of their lives.
Ah, and they all 3 died at 7.
The female did not. She was 9 and, we rehomed her
Oh,
because after the divorce, I couldn't
yeah.
give her the care and love that she deserved. And so she went with a fabulous family that wanted an excellent dog that laid on a couch and got pet all day.
Right,
So
right.
she
Oh,
lived her best life.
right, right, exactly.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, but it's they are amazing teachers and such beautiful reflections of unconditional love.
mhm, completely. And
They're amazing.
she just makes me a much more of an outward person because of
Yes.
it's just and it's interesting though also because of her and writing about this in the book, I no longer stay in unfulfilling or unhappy relationships where I used to, right?
I applaud you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I used to, and,
Yeah.
thinking I was in a fear mode or there won't
Mhm.
be anyone else or whatever it might be. Um, but and I write about this in the book as well. I don't do that anymore. And, I was really, I do applaud me because I grew up with feelings of abandonment from my
Mm.
father. I had a quite a dysfunctional childhood. And my sister and brother moved out when I was 6. They split up
Mm.
the kids for the divorce, which is not an ideal thing.
Yeah.
6-year-old, me. So I grew up with that. So for me to leave unfulfilling relationships is a big step. Knowing you're
How did Dea help you navigate that?
because she's my one and only true connection. I mean, she just uh, she just is there, and I realized I don't really need someone who doesn't make me feel good or doesn't appreciate me or takes
I
me for
love
full
that.
advantage when I
Yeah.
have someone who
Mhm.
misses me all the time. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I think just growing and
I love that.
writing 2 books, when
Yeah.
you write really deep memoirs, and mine are very
Yes.
um, you hopefully grow and learn.
Absolutely.
It's very therapeutic for the author as well, hopefully, if you go deep enough.
For sure.
Can't go
Oh,
lightly. If you go lightly, then no one's gonna believe you. If you go really deeply, as I do, people will say, "Yeah, I've been through that too.
mm,
She got through that, maybe I can." You know?
exactly. And there's something just in the same way that you have it written through Dea's perspective, that's how it is for the reader. They are also once removed
Yes.
and they can pull out the lessons without having to experience the pain of your experience, even though we all have our own.
Yes.
It's
But
such a
people can also relate to the pain, which is what I've
yes.
always wanted. I'm a social worker in training and in a helping profession, and it just so many people can relate. Maybe not
Mhm.
to everything, but to certain parts of it. Being alone in New York, feeling isolated, and who can't relate to that in New York
Right.
or even where you live, perhaps?
Sure.
No, it's so so it's just, but having a dog, the human animal bond for me has become intrinsic to my mental
Yeah.
health. It really is.
Yeah.
It's, I don't think I could ever be happy without a dog. I don't think so. And they teach you just how to let things go. Just for me, I mean, I don't have a human child, so I don't know what that's like. But if she does something wrong, which on a rare occasion she might, I might be angry or annoyed for 30 seconds, maybe
Hmm.
60, then it passes. So,
Right.
and that teaches you patience
Yeah.
outwardly as well with other people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. With children, I don't know how long you have to stay angry, but maybe longer than 30.
No, you have to have a really short memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a great opportunity to grow and expand into the highest and best version of yourself,
Right.
which
Right.
is the same as being a neighbor or being an employee or being an employer or going to the airport. Like all of these are opportunities for
Right.
us to choose our best self.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I love this, and I love this not this idea, but this truth of what transformational work writing a memoir must be.
It truly is, and I applaud my editor too because she's tough love and she pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. As I mentioned before, you can't just lightly touch about certain subjects.
Sure.
Have to go deeper than you ever might be comfortable
Yeah.
doing
Right.
because then it's real and
Right.
then people will relate. Um,
Exactly.
if you gloss over something, they'll say, it's nothing.
Right. They'll gloss over also.
Right.
Right.
And it teaches you resiliency as well. Look at, I've been through a lot, it teaches you
It
from,
remind right, just like retelling the stories verbally, the good ones or the bad ones. They're just reminders of, oh yeah. Why am I worried? I have nothing to worry about. This is
that's it.
amazing.
You've been through so many things that the next hardship, and there will be, everyone goes through them. We don't know
For
when
sure.
you'll get through it because you have resiliency. And
Absolutely.
one of the main themes is, especially in my first one, it's resiliency
Yeah.
because losing your family is not easy. So
No.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my gosh. And I'm so sorry for that.
thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. And you also did the audiobooks, is that correct?
I did. Oh, that's a whole other thing.
Which is perfect because you have a beautiful voice.
Oh, you're very sweet. Thank
It's
you.
very true.
Well, the first one was for a place called Grace, and it was my voice as the narrator, but I also had to speak Italian, be Italian men, be my brother, be my mother, be everyone in the book. So it was
Wow.
just me. I did all the voices, but it was very hard, but tons of fun. But my second book, I'm Daya's voice. So I had to come up with a voice that wasn't irritating because they have to listen to her. She's the narrator
Sure.
and it was very tricky because I'm the number one character. I'm not the narrator, but I'm a pretty important character in it. So I would be in her voice and then quickly switch back to mine and hers and
Wow.
mine and I was other people's as well. All the men that I dated and the boyfriend and cancer doctors and everyone. So it was a challenge, but tons of fun.
Oh
Tons of
my gosh. And all of your acting prowess, of course, came into play for that. That's amazing.
Pretty much so, but when I was in Italy, I actually got my work permit via becoming a dubbing actress. So I did a lot of voice work in Italy, so that helped. But really, a little bit, for my nerves. But to become my dog's voice, that was a little bit of a challenge. But it's a lovely voice. It's not an irritating voice, and she's a poodle, so she has to have a beautiful poodle voice.
Of course she does. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I have loved this conversation, Allison. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can get the audiobook and the hard copy. Tell us all the things, please.
Oh, I'd be thrilled. Well, people can look at my website, number one, if they're interested. It has all new information whenever I do something. It's AllisonRandAuthor.com, and Allison is Alison, AllisonRandAuthor.com. Amazon, of course, has both books, A Place Called Grace and Walking Allison, a poodle's mostly true story of helping her human navigate life. It's my second book. And of course, Audible or Amazon sells the audiobooks for both. So I'd be thrilled if anyone reads it or listens to it. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think. Even if you haven't read or listened yet and you're a dog person and are curious, I'd love to hear from you. There's a contact form on my website.
Oh, fantastic. We will link everything down in the show notes. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a delightful conversation.
Oh, thank you, Wendy. This has just been wonderful. So much fun. Thank you.
My pleasure.